so nice to be with you. I just finished doing another live session for a private group that I'm part of. So, oh my gosh, pray for me that I don't lose my voice today. Anyway, it is so nice to see all of you here today. I am so delighted. There's 49 of you right now. That's so awesome. Thanks for joining me on your Friday lunch hour, this first Friday in November. Clocks are going back on Sunday. I can't believe it. And I'm here to answer your cleaning questions. Now, one of the things I want you to keep in mind is that Black Friday is just a few weeks away. And this is the time of year where everyone wants to buy all the things that are on sale. Personally, I have a list going of things that I'm looking for this Black Friday. And one of the things that I would love to be able to help you with during this session is I don't know why I'm wearing my glasses. If you have any questions about a Black Friday potential purchase in the cleaning or organizing realm, and you're like, I don't know, should I, shouldn't I? Is it worth it? Or if you need me to help you figure out how to right size like a vacuum choice or, a cleaning tool or an appliance choice, I'm very happy to help you work through that today. So you can think about that when it comes to questions. I know that we also collected some questions ahead of time. So I'm very happy to have a look through those as well. But of course, drop your questions in the chat. And one of the funny things, Chad keeps pointing to me to look at the camera, but I'm also looking at the comments here. One of the things you can do on these live streams, YouTube always wants us to mention it. There's like this little dollar thing at the bottom of the chat where you can like leave a tip. Again, it's something I mentioned because our YouTube rep always wants us to mention it, but it kind of feels weird for me to say it. Anyway, I've done my piece. I've said it. It's there. You can click on it to learn more and figure it out. I'm just going to leave that there. Okay. So I'm going to kick things off with a question from Linda Ingram, who says, what is your take on the new vacuum and mop in machines? So for those of you who are unfamiliar, there are a variety of all-in-one floor cleaning tools that are around now, whether it's a robot vacuum. So for example, iRobot has, I think they call it the Scuba, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a wet, dry floor cleaning robot. High Zero has one that I tested a couple years back that vacuums and mops in one go. Dyson just came out with the V15 Detect Submarine, which I demoed last week at the Dyson demo store at Yorkdale Mall in Toronto. And I'm going to tell you this, Linda. So I have mixed feelings about them. The Dyson one is the best one that I've seen, goes without saying. But the Dyson one is also one that you do in tandem. So you have to vacuum first and then you have to mop. With the High Zero, I haven't tested the iRobot, but with the High Zero, it does everything at one time. So it picks up the dirt and cleans the floor at the same time. And I found that it didn't do as effective as a job as the Dyson, where you do your dry cleaning first with the regular vacuum tool, and then you follow it up with the wet cleaning by just changing out the heads. In both circumstances, you use water as your cleaning tool. And the one thing to keep in mind with these machines is they require regular maintenance after every use. So you're going to have to refill the reservoir. You're going to have to empty the dirty water reservoir. If you don't do that, it's going to start stinking very quickly. Just think about it. It's like keeping a bucket of dirty mop water sitting right there on your machine. You're also going to have to clean that microfiber roller head, because if you think about it, it's essentially the same as keeping a dirty mop slightly wet in your broom closet. So I just want you to think through those things. From a convenience standpoint, the High Zero I found was bulky because it sort of worked and was fit like an upright vacuum, whereas the Dyson Submarine is a cordless vacuum with just a separate attachment head. So I actually found that to be much more convenient in terms of usage, functionality, storage, and comfort. So hopefully that answers your question. I do feel very strongly about it. And of course, if you don't want to invest in a big tool like that, we sell the Maker's Mop. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's our taco-shaped mop. It's award-winning. It distributes pressure evenly. It has multiple microfiber heads that you can change out. It is a fantastic cleaning tool that we are obsessed with. Cleans floors, baseboards, ceilings, walls, all the things. So if that is not something that you're interested in, you can definitely check out the Maker's Mop. I'd love to know where everybody is joining us from. I know I kicked things off with Linda's question, but one of the great things about being live here with you, and I've got almost 300 of you here, is I love to see where you're joining from. I am in Toronto, Canada. For those of you who don't know, that is where I am from. It's not the loveliest day out today. It's about 3 degrees Celsius. Double it and add 36. What's that? Double it and add 36 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you in the States. So this is an opportunity for you to just answer any cleaning questions that you have. And one of the things that you can do is you can sit and watch. You can turn this on and listen to it while you're cleaning. Maybe just hearing my voice kind of gives you that Pavlovian cue to clean. Maybe that's what my voice means to you, or my face, which is totally cool. I'm happy to be that person for you and support you in your cleaning journey. One of the things that I want to remind you of, if you haven't done so already, is to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. You can also subscribe to our Clean My Space Dirty Dish newsletter, where we share cleaning tips and information that we don't share anywhere else. You can do that by going to the cleanmyspace.com website. You'll see a sign up link. And the same thing goes for the Makers Clean Insider, Makers Clean being our sister company, where the Makers Mop is sold, and all of our premium microfiber cleaning tools. The Makers Clean Insiders, where we share new product information, product drops, special sales, discounts that, again, we don't share those codes anywhere else, and more, because we really love people who are on our email list and are kind of committed fans of the brand. So we definitely hook you up. You can go to makersclean.com and you will get a pop-up within like 5-10 seconds, and that will ask you to sign up for the email list. So just keep that stuff in mind. Anyway, I am going to get to some of your questions. So I'm going to be like glasses on, glasses off. Otherwise, I go googly-eyed if I look at the screen without my glasses. All right. So first question, we've got emotional support hipster. I kind of love that. I have a question. Why do you clean the bathroom floor on your hands and knees? Just curious. Yeah, that's a great question. So I jokingly call this the Cinderella method for obvious reasons. In case you haven't seen the movie, that's how Cinderella does it. And the reason I decided to do it this way is because in the bathroom, you have those difficult nooks and crannies. And I want you to remember my origin story as a cleaning person is a formerly very lazy person who hates cleaning, still pretty much that person. But in 2006, I started a cleaning business here in Toronto, and I had to learn how to clean professionally to impress my clients and build the business and to develop a training program. So in doing my research, I found that the most effective and efficient way to clean the tight, dirty spots in a bathroom was actually to do it on hands and knees using the cloths that you had already wet from cleaning the mirrors, the counters, and the sinks. All right. And that's because it really allows you to scoop into the corners, around the toilets, under the cabinetry, into those tight spots where, hair and debris and kind of soapy stuff builds up. Bathroom floors can get really dirty. So using a mop can certainly work if, let's say, you're going in and it's not the worst, but if it's pretty messy in there and you have to give it a good thorough cleaning, I highly recommend the Cinderella method, hands and knees. And if you find it a little bit gross, I have a couple tips for you. You can glove up. I always find that when I'm wearing rubber gloves, I'm much more bold and willing to explore the cleaning realm. And number two, you can put something protective your knees so that you're not like physically dragging yourself along the floor. So like an old towel or something like that. All righty. So I hope that answers your question. All right. Johnny's product review says, how do you clean white walls without taking the paint off? Yeah, great question. So you want to always do whenever you're cleaning any surface is test your product, your tool, and your technique on that surface to make sure that it's safe. All right. So you want to find like a little hidden corner, an area that you're not concerned about. You're going to do a little test patch. And then if it works and doesn't cause any damage, great. And if not, you got to move on to something else. Now, when it comes to white walls, Johnny, I have found that if it is a matte paint, you're very likely to see the cleaning, especially if you're using a mildly abrasive product, even something like a baking soda or a magic eraser, which is, I would say magic eraser is not mildly abrasive, somewhat abrasive. So in that case, I would stick to the gentlest possible thing I can. I'd probably use something like a little bit of Dawn dish soap and water, microfiber cloth, start very gently. But even still with some paint, you're going to see water spots. So if you notice that that is happening and you need to clean that area, you might actually be better touching it up with paint as opposed to cleaning it. All right. Karen Ransom says, how do you get grease off a metal toaster? Yeah. A few different ways that you can approach this, Karen. So let's talk through them. First, whenever you're cleaning an appliance, you want to make sure that it is unplugged and cooled. Next, if we're talking about the exterior of the toaster, you can try a product like Barkeeper's Friend or Bon Ami. Barkeeper's Friend is available pretty much everywhere. Bon Ami in Canada is different than Bon Ami in the US. So for my friends who are watching in Canada, do not get Bon Ami, which comes in like a spray canister. For my friends in the US, Bon Ami comes in like a canister, much like what you'd find Comet or Barkeeper's Friend in. It's a mildly abrasive product, and I really like it. Like sometimes when I go to the States, I will smuggle some back because it's a good cleaner. What you're going to do is you're going to apply some Barkeeper's Friend powdered cleanser, whatever, Barkeeper's Friend or Bon Ami, to a sponge. You're going to agitate that area with water and you're going to rinse and continue. That should be the problem solver for your toaster. Okay. Ed Yeager says, can you tell me what to use for cleaning around the toilet? The grout is yellow. For sure. So Ed, what you would want to do in this case is use an enzyme cleaner. Reason being, enzyme cleaners are designed specifically to deal with urine odors and stains, which is what I'm surmising is the issue. The other thing you can consider is sealing the grout around the toilet. So step one, you would want to clean. And then step two, you would want to take protective measures and seal. So the way that you're going to clean is you're going to take your enzyme cleaner. If you're in the US or Canada, you can look for a product like Crud Cutter, spelt with two Ks, Krud, Kutter. Or if you're in the States, BioClean Backout is my ride or die. Again, another product that I will generally smuggle in when I go cross-border. And you'll just spray that around the area and you're going to let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. And it's got to sit damp. So you really need to spray it liberally. Once that's done, you can get yourself a scrub brush. You can scrub the area. Then you're going to rinse it until there's no residue left behind. So you want it to be like flushed with water, cleaned with a cloth or a paper towel. And then once that's done, Ed, at that point, if you notice that this is a repeating issue, you can buy some grout sealant. You can get that online. You can get that at a store like Home Depot. Follow the instructions. It's not overly difficult. And that will help prevent any buildup and odor in the future. All right. Just going to check through here and see what we've got. Oh my gosh. Sing It from Chicago. I think you were on our last one. Nice to see you again. All right. Hello from Chicago. My dishes are suddenly spotty using pods. Am I overstuffing? So this is a really great point, and I don't think a lot of folks realize, but overloading your washing machine and your dishwasher, but overloading your dishwasher specifically in your case will lead to the inability for the water and the detergent to do its job effectively. So if there's too much crud building up, oh, there goes our washing machine. Can you hear it? Do, 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 do. That's the LG song. I have to stop and acknowledge it every time I hear it. I don't know what it is, but I actually love that song. Okay, back to your question. If you put too much in the dishwasher, or if plates aren't standing upright, or if cutlery is sort of bunched in and all over each other, um, the the water, the detergent, it's not going to be able to do its job. The dirt's not going to be able to rinse off. Now, you are getting spotty issues, which tells me that it might be scummy and it might be time for you to actually clean your machine. So rather than, I mean, you would only be the one to know if you're overstuffing it. But the other thing I want you to think about is cleaning your machine. So picking up a product like a fresh dishwasher cleaning tablet, and then also cleaning out the filter. So step one would be removing the filter at the bottom of your dishwasher. To do this, you're going to pull out the bottom rack. You're going to look for the filter, and you're going to see if there's like a tube that you can sort of twist. You're going to twist it counterclockwise, pull it out, clean it under running water using a scrub brush and soap. You're going to replace it, and then you can run through that filter, the dishwasher cleaner, and that should help you reduce the spottiness of your dishes. All right. Let's see here. Daz F says, how do we get yellow stains off collars of shirts and t-shirts? Yeah. So this is classically referred to as ring around the collar. And it comes from, as my friend Zach from Jeeves_New York on Instagram and TikTok, who is a dry cleaning expert and also is a fourth generation dry cleaner. He tells me that this is oxidized sweat. So if you think about like cutting an avocado or an apple open and then leaving it for a little bit and starting to see it turn brown, that is essentially exactly what's happening on your white garments when sweat sits there for a while. It starts to oxidize. So in order to deal with this, you can use something that can reverse that. Something as simple as baking soda and hydrogen peroxide mixed into a paste, applied to that surface, allowed to sit even overnight, and then thrown in the laundry. Daz, you're going to notice that that comes off pretty easily. So I just want you to be aware of that it's nothing that you're doing wrong. There's nothing, inherently wrong with you or your clothes. That's just part of wearing clothing and being a human and sweating. So don't feel bad about it. All right. Nunya Business, love that, says, do we need to strip our microfibers once a month? No. The best thing you can do to keep your microfiber cloths working well is to rinse them after each use, because you're going to get residue built up from A, anything you're cleaning, and B, any product you're using with it. If you're then putting it in the washing machine unrinsed, you're going to have a lot more product floating around in that machine. And especially if you have a high efficiency machine, it might not be able to rinse out all of that residue, which would then lead to buildup in the cloth, which then might make you feel like, oh my God, do I need to strip these? Rather, if you rinse your cloths after every use, get rid of all of that product, bring them out, allow them to dry, launder, you will not have to worry about stripping. All right. Also, stripping, because of the heat and the harsh product, would probably very likely ruin your microfiber cloths. So just want you to keep that in mind. Hydration break. Okay. Leslie is from Washington State. Even though I wipe it down after every use, I still have mineral buildup in the small corner of my shower door. It's metal, probably an aluminum frame. How do I remove this buildup? Yeah, so I've seen this before, Leslie. I can envision it. And it might be because water pools there after you wipe it down. So I'm wondering if you are turning your fan on and or opening a window after showering. Sometimes we have to work extra hard to solve these problems, even though we're doing everything we can. Like, I run my fan while I'm showering and for at least 30 minutes, if not 60, after a shower. And I use a squeegee, because if I don't do that, builds. There might also be like a little leak, which is why you're getting that mineral buildup. So another thing that you can try, if those things aren't the case, is you can take a little bit of full strength vinegar. You can wipe that area down. You can let that sit, for 5 minutes or so, wipe it off, and then that should hopefully protect against some of that buildup that starts to come up. I just want to hop on and see what's going on here on the live. Oh, there I am. You see, I haven't even been able to see myself. Not that I care to see myself, but it's so weird when I'm just.
Someone left a cool question and they said, love your channel. They said, shoes on the couch? Question mark.
Oh yeah, such a good point. Shoes on the couch. Okay, so let me talk about this. So these are, first of all, how cute are my Crocs? These are from their YouTube Crocs. You can see my little YouTube gibbets. And look at this. I stepped on a little something in the house. These are strictly indoor shoes, and I wipe the bottoms regularly. So yes, I will wear these shoes on the couch, even though it's completely sacrilegious looking. I have no problem doing it because I know where these shoes have been. But if I wear them outside of the house, no. All right, let me get back to some of your great questions. Are you guys having fun so far? I mean, as much fun as you can be having talking about cleaning on a Friday afternoon. All right. Carol Custer says, can you wash your waffle weave towels with your mini microfiber cloths? Of course you can. The idea is that you want to keep your fabrics, you want to keep like fabrics together. So microfiber can be washed together. The most important thing when you're laundering microfiber, Carol, is to make sure that it's free of debris and residue. So we already talked about rinsing it well after each use. Debris is another thing you want to make sure that you're rid of. So whether it's hair or crumbs or, little speckled pieces that you picked up, you just want to make sure that you've rinsed all that away so that you're not transferring from one to the other, especially with the higher pile microfiber, like our duo cloth or even our general purpose cloths. They are designed to pick things up, so they can certainly pick things up in the wash. And that's why you would want to be mindful of that. But our waffle is particularly good at not picking things up. Oh my gosh, look at this cute name, Sparkle Ann Morris. How do you remove grease in the kitchen? So many ways to do this. Glad you asked. So the DIY version is to do, it depends on the surface you're cleaning. You could do equal parts vinegar and dish soap, or you could make a scrub / paste, equal parts dish soap and baking soda. Those would be two great DIY options. I would not use the baking soda one on a surface like a wood cabinet. I'd stick to the vinegar option for that. But for something like an overhead exhaust or even a backsplash, that's a great option. You can also pick up an enzyme-based cleaner. We've talked about this before. BioClean Backout, Crud Cutter with K's, KRUD, KUTTER, two great options. And if you have a steam cleaner, steam is amazing at blasting away grease. It's like a fun science experiment to watch, actually. All right. Rayanne Mouse says, hi, how can I clean my apartment in less time? It always takes me so much time to do it. I'm watching you from Algeria in North Africa. Wow. Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us from all the way in Algeria. So, this is a really good question. Have you heard about our 3-wave system? If you haven't, we have tons of videos on it. We have an ebook on it. It is a system that I created, Rayanne, because I think you probably know this by now about me. I hate cleaning. I don't want to spend my time doing it. And when you run a cleaning business, you have to find the most efficient and effective way to get the job done right the first time, because in the cleaning world, time is money. So the 3-wave system is the system that I came up with that helps you narrow in on exactly what needs to be done, approach it systematically so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time you clean. And it just reduces the amount of time that you spend. So essentially, wave number 1 is tidying and organizing. Wave number 2 is actually doing the cleaning. And wave number 3 is floors and garbage. The second thing I can recommend is thinking about your MIAs, or your most important areas. This is going to point to areas in your home that need the most attention most of the time. If, for example, there's a space that you don't use in your apartment as much, let's say the dining room, don't clean it regularly. If you're not so bothered about the ceiling corners, don't even think about them. Maybe think about them once a month or once every 2 months. Same goes with baseboards. But if there's an area like your front entrance or your bathroom that is constantly messy, that's where you need to focus your time. And that is how you manage your time when it comes to cleaning and spending less time. All right, we've got a question here from Halez. How do you clean natural slate tile floors? So, this is an important question, and I appreciate when people are specific about the finishes and features in their homes because, cleaning, you can't take a one size fits all approach to things because there are so many variances and nuances in fixtures and finishes, and you want to make sure that you're cleaning everything right so that you're not ruining it. So, slate, let's talk about it very specifically. It's a stone. So we already know right off the bat, natural stone does not tolerate acids. So we don't use glass cleaners. We don't use vinegar. Um, Certainly doesn't tolerate bleach. It is very happy with a pH neutral product. So generally speaking, I like to use dish soap on natural stone floors and a very little bit of it. When I say very little bit, I want you to hold up your pinky like you're having a cup of tea. I was going to say with the queen, but now, of course, you'd be having it with the king, or whatever country you're from, whomever the head of state is. Let's say you're having a cup of tea with them and you're being fancy, pinky's out. Look at your pinky nail. That's how much dish soap you want to be using in a bucket. Okay. Half full hot water. Use more soap than that. You're going to have residue on the floor. It's going to be sticky. The other consideration with slate is that it is a soft stone, so it will scratch. All right. Like if you have debris on that floor and you're dragging a chair, you're going to see a scratch and you can't get rid of that scratch. So, really important with slate is to sweep, vacuum regularly, not drag things, and then mop with a gentle pH neutral cleaner. So, I hope that helps. Okay. Kayla Freed Lee says, here's a question about enzymatic cleansers. So I'm going to call that just an enzyme cleaner. Can you stack them? So for example, spraying a pet cleaner before cleaning a carpet with a different enzyme cleaner. Yeah, so this is a really interesting question because, and I think TikTok has maybe ruined this for a lot of people, but cleaning products are designed to be used. How can I best describe this? Cleaning products aren't like makeup where you're layering things. Cleaning products are designed to be used individually. So they can solve problems on their own. Now, in certain circumstances, like for example, Dawn dish soap, you can mix it with other things. But when you have, a certain enzyme cleaner that's designed to do one job, I would use it from A to Z. It's intended to be used. Once that's done, I would then switch to my next product and I would use it as it was intended to be used. So in your specific case, oh my God, so many questions. Got to find this one. You've got spraying a pet cleaner before cleaning a carpet with a different. So I would deal with the pet stain first, Kayla. Once the pet stain, the odor is gone, you'll probably notice the visual stain is gone too. But but then you can follow that up with the carpet cleaner. All right. Oh my gosh, Chadrick gave us a $5 tip. That's so cool. Thank you. I've 10x'd my cleaning routine by incorporating aqueous ozone and hypochlorous acid. You don't usually mention these. What's your experience with them? So my experience, I would say, is non-existent. I don't know what aqueous ozone is, and hypochlorous acid. You are making me harken back to my grade 12 chemistry, and I am having trouble remembering the street name for hypochlorous acid. So you might have to hook me up a little bit with that. So Chadrick, I can't answer that question right now, but if you get back to me on the street name, maybe I can. That being said, if you find something that works for you, stick with it. Just because I don't use it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. And just because, and it doesn't mean that it's not awesome. I have the things that I like, and I like to talk about them, but it doesn't mean that these two things aren't great. Oh my God, Stacy. Holy cow, you're generous. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy just gave us $20. That's so nice. Thank you. Wow. All right. Let's see here. So many questions, my friends. Mary Art Journey. So this is a good question. How shall we best clean vacuum and accessories to maintain it well? You know, I don't think I just want to acknowledge this because I don't think enough people realize that a vacuum, let's talk about it. A vacuum, a washing machine, a dryer, a dishwasher, these are all cleaning tools, but they are not inherently self-cleaning. So you have to maintain them in order for them to clean well for you. So with a vacuum, a few considerations. You want to make sure that you're emptying your bin or your vacuum bag after each use. If it's full, it can't filter, it can't pick up dust, it can't do its job. So you want to set it up for success. Check for obstructions as needed. And for the heads, I think a lot of the vacuums that are out there now have parts that are washable or cleanable. I know with Dyson, every now and then I will disassemble the heads and I will clean them. We have videos on how to do that. You can also go to the manufacturer's website and learn how to do it. Regardless of the method that you choose, maintaining those tools means that you're actually cleaning with clean cleaning tools and that they are functional and doing their jobs. If the bristles are clogged, they're just not going to be able to do their thing. So that's great. Vita Blue says, do you enjoy living in Toronto? How does it rate on your cleanliness scale? 10 being Greenwich, Connecticut, and 1 being my local public pool. Okay, so Vita, I've never been to Greenwich, Connecticut, but I have friends that live there. Shout out to Victoria and Jonathan. And I think it's pretty clean. So how do I enjoy living in Toronto? Well, let's just put it this way. I live in a suburb outside of Toronto. I live in what one would call the Greater Toronto area. Toronto's really freaking expensive. The real estate prices are insane. So I'm not really happy about that. There are a lot of issues politically and otherwise. But you can't get a lot of good food here. There's a lot of cool people here. There's a lot of good stuff to do. So there are definite pros to living in Toronto. I've lived here all my life. And from a cleanliness standpoint, gosh, I would say like Greenwich, Connecticut. I don't know. If it's anything like Munich, when I was in Munich, Germany, that's like probably one of the cleanest places I've ever seen. So wow. Toronto, I'd say, is a little grimier than that. There are certain parts of Toronto that feel like New York City. There are other parts that are utterly immaculate. So I don't exactly know. I would. Oh my gosh, Dave, $10. Thank you. You changed my life, making cleaning so fun and effective. I love having a house that sparkles. Thank you. Davis said that. I said David. I'm sorry, Davis. That is so nice. Oh my gosh. Talk about filling a bucket. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I hate cleaning, but I really love helping people. And it's so weird that this was my calling and the way that the universe wanted me to help people. But I am honestly so delighted when people say this to me because I know how much I struggle with cleaning. Chad, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys can hear Chad, but oh yeah, he's like, yeah, there you go. To this day, I still struggle with cleaning. And if I can make your life better and mine even just a little bit better, that means a lot to me. Donna's Den says, how to clean a bathroom vent fan. Thanks. Yeah, okay. So you know why this is important? A couple reasons. First of all, it's that little grill sitting at the top of your bathroom ceiling, which hopefully you have because it allows for ventilation. So if you don't have ventilation in your bathroom, that's how you get soap scum, mold, mildew, and odors because you're essentially bathing in a tropical environment, high humidity, lots of moisture, no ability for that moisture to dissipate. So it's the perfect breeding ground for odors, mildew, and bacteria and mold. So ventilation is important. Secondly, if your fan is dirty, not clean, very dusty, it's going to be noisy. And oh my God, we've all been in a bathroom with a fan that sounds like a freaking airplane engine. So the best thing that you can do, we have a video on this actually. So you can look it up on the channel after. But basically, you get yourself a ladder. You gently pull the fan cover off. You'll see it kind of sticks in with these two clippy like pins. Pretty easy. You sort of close them in like this, pull it down. Nice and easy. Once that's done, you're just going to clean it with soapy water to get rid of that dust. And then you're going to let it dry for 24 hours. And following that, you're going to replace it. And that's it, Donna. Easy and done. Oh my gosh. Chadrick, $25. Not a cleaning question. Sorry. I'm painting and love your beige color on your walls. What brand and color is that? Okay. So this is a product, a paint called by Canadian Tire, and the color is called Old Cedar. Old Cedar. And what's really nice about this color is it is a warm neutral. So it's not overly beige. And the one thing we didn't want is something that was gray, because cool tones are nice, but because a lot of the furniture that we brought in, and to be honest, it's not finished. It's just like, hi, we have a child and we're not spending a lot of money on decor. Hence this beat up thing over here. I don't know if it's in the shot, but this thing is very beat up. No beautiful rug because we don't want to ruin anything, but we've got warm tone floors, warm tone sofa. Those chairs are warm tone behind us. So we wanted something that had a nice warm tone. And then we balanced it out with that super, super dark gray, which is also a Premier Paints color. So that's really cool that you're painting right now. And then in our basement, we used Benjamin Moore paints, which had some really gorgeous colors too. Oh my God, the questions are piling up. How am I going to do this? Okay. Okie doke. Melanie says, what's good to use if you can't be on your knees? So one of the videos that we have coming up is about like mobility challenges with cleaning, because this is something that we get asked about a lot of times. And what you need in this case, Melody, is a cleaning tool on an extension pole. So the Maker's Mop is a great option for you because it's got an extendable pole and a curved mop head that can fit into corners. My mom uses it to clean her shower and her tub. You can use the heavy duty scrub pad to do that. And in your case, you also want your product to do a lot of work for you. So I'd really recommend choosing your cleaning products wisely, applying them and allowing them enough dwell time so that they can sit and do their job, so that you can be my favorite kind of cleaner, which is a lazy cleaner. And the less hard you have to work, the happier I am for you. So I hope that answered your question. HD asked if you can remove scratches from stainless steel. Yes and no. All right. So yes, in the sense that there are scratch repair kits that are available. You can buy these online. But you're going to need to pray and hope that it works. All right. So that's where the no comes in, because it's not always going to work. So there's like a curing liquid, there's like a little sponge, and there's like a little technique that they explain. You can totally try it. So my hope is that it will work for you. So it's kind of like hope for the best, but expect the worst. You're not going to make it worse, but it just might not fix the scratch. If anything's going to do it, it's going to be a stainless steel scratch repair kit. You can find those online. Okay. Warrior 97, hello from Maryland. Hello. 2 questions. What's the best way to clean LVP? So I'm going to assume that you mean luxury vinyl plank flooring. Also, best way to clean grease spots off a matte white wall. Okay. So in our house, we have luxury vinyl plank in our basement. We chose that for 2 reasons. First of all, you can't really have hardwood in a basement. And second, it is very, very easy to maintain. So you're in luck. The way that we clean that floor is with nothing more than soap and water. I don't believe in steam mops. They're fine for tile, but I do worry about them stripping, whether it's on a plank floor, hardwood floor. So it's not my favorite method. I would just say straight up, like a flathead mop, like the Maker's Mop, soapy water, totally fine. You can even use a dilutable floor cleaner, like some people like the Lysol or the Mr. Clean or Pine Sol stuff. I would not use Murphy's oil soap. I wouldn't spend any money on anything fancy. You don't need it, okay? Grease spots off a matte white wall. This is going to be hard because a matte white wall is going to show the cleaning marks. So in a kitchen and in a bathroom, it's generally recommended to use an eggshell or a semi-gloss paint because those are washable paints. So what you might want to do is clean that mess using sort of an all-purpose. Oh, there's a lot of noise. Sorry, guys, if you're hearing that. Use an all-purpose. Oh, Chad's got a cord or something going on. Use an all-purpose degreaser. You can use a little sponge. You can use a magic eraser. You're most likely going to cause some damage, but at the same time, you're going to get rid of that grease. And then the next, you would put backsplashes in their kitchen because it prevents that splattering from sticking to the paint, and it's much easier to clean a backsplash surface than it is a paint surface. Leah Gruel says, how do you get tannin stains, leaf stains out of concrete? Yeah, that's a tough one. So I'm not quite sure, Leah, if I've ever tackled that myself. Thinking through it, I think a pressure washer might actually be a really great choice in that case. We have a pressure washer. Chad's the one that uses it more frequently, but I recall when I used to work at a restaurant that had a patio, one of the cleaning tasks that the maintenance crew had to do was pressure wash it because there were stains all the time on the patio floor, which was concrete, and it just took them right off. So that would be my recommendation. All right. Let's see here. SN12. I have a lot of long hair in the carpet. How do I clean it without it getting stuck in the vacuum rollers? Okay. Couple things we can think about. If you've seen rubber brooms, this is a great option. I would say a squeegee would work too, but I can't imagine you would want to get on your hands and knees and squeegee your entire carpet. A rubber broom will create some friction and drag out the hair that's caught. It's an extra step for you, but it's cheaper. Option 2 is getting a vacuum that has a roller brush attachment with a built-in comb. Chad, would you mind grabbing the digital motor bar head in the vacuum closet so I can show that? So in some cases, you can buy vacuums that are like, a lot of vacuums are coming with this now. They have built-in combs that comb hair out of the brush roller with every revolution of the roll. So that way you're never getting a clogged roller head. But this would involve an investment in a new vacuum. So it's going to be the digital motor bar head, the larger one. So I'll show you that as soon as Chad grabs it. Okay. Let us see. Valley Girl H says, I bought some of your waffle weave cloths. Amazing. And one seems to have a small hole in it. What could be causing that? I'm not sure. If there's like a manufacturer's defect, then that's one thing. But if you've used it and say cleaned knives with it or cleaned, anything that's kind of sharp, it is a fabric, so it could definitely cause a hole. But if it's a manufacturer's defect, like if you got it out of the package and it had a hole in it, you can email info@makersclean.com and we can take care of it. So on this, actually, why don't you hold it up to the camera? Yeah, and then the other side, specifically focusing on the comb. Can you point to the comb there, Chad, right at the top? Yeah, so you can see that the tool is able to actually comb through the hair. This is one of the most awesome innovations of this particular vacuum head. I love it because I too have very long hair, and oh my gosh, nothing is grosser than having to deal with that. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. All right, what else? Rita Rushing, hello, thank you for your video. What's the best way to clean staining inside a toilet? I have well water and I wonder what's causing the problem. Yeah, we hear this a lot, Rita. So The reason why folks get stains in toilets most often is because of hard water, the minerals that are just circulating in the water. Nothing really you can do about that unless you have some way to soften the water, in which case that would work. Option B is cleaning with a well and septic, if you're on septic, safe product. I believe CLR is, but please don't quote me on that. I'm going off the top of my head. You can also use full strength vinegar, and you would use that to clean your toilet bowl regularly. You can also use a wet pumice stone to physically remove those marks. But it really is one of those annoying jobs that you just have to stay on top of. And I think a lot of folks who are in your situation kind of come to a point of acceptance where they're like, well, I live on well water. This is what I deal with. All right. Moving right along. All right. Alexia Eisenhower. That's a cool last name. I accidentally spilled house paint in my ceramic kitchen sink, and now there's a haze in the sink. How do I remove it? Yeah, so it's probably residue from the paint, and you would need a paint thinner or a paint stripper to do that. Now, because you've got a ceramic sink, you're going to need to test it first. The best thing for you to do is to probably head to a store like Home Depot, talk to somebody in the paint aisle, and ask them specifically what will not ruin a ceramic finish, whether it's turpentine or some other sort of paint thinner or stripper. Also keeping in mind that it's going to be washed down your sink, but that will solve your problem. Pa Mom asked a question about removing sweat and deodorant stains on the armpits of your favorite shirt. I have answered this question already. It's about the oxidized sweat stains, but hey, if we're getting asked that question twice, clearly it's an issue. Clearly we're going to talk about it again. It's just equal parts. You're going to make a paste of baking soda and hydrogen peroxide. You're going to apply it to the stained areas, let it sit overnight, launder as usual. What you're seeing there is just oxidization of sweat, like when you cut an apple or an avocado open and it exposes to air. Same thing's happening. Don't feel bad. You are normal. That is natural. Happens to everyone. All right, Katie. I notice microfiber cloths get stuck debris. Is there anything I need to do about this, or should I just ignore it? Yeah, so, I noticed that too, and it is kind of annoying. The best thing you can do is rinse your cloths after using them to remove as much debris as you can. And you want to use like a physical scrubbing together motion like this. You want some ASMR? All right. So you're just going to do that. Run it under water, rub the cloth together, get rid of as much debris as you can, launder as usual. And like I say with so many things, there are parts of life that we just need to accept. So I have a lot going on in my life. I don't sweat the small stuff. Like debris definitely gets stuck in there, but I can let that go. Anna says, oh my gosh, thank you for this live. How can I remove greasy dust from plants in the kitchen? Yeah, so if they are real plants, imagine greasy dust as clogging their pores because they need to photosynthesize. They can't absorb sunlight the same way they could if their leaves were totally clean. So the plant is not going to thrive and do as well. If it's an artificial plant, it's just going to build up and build up and build up, and the plant is going to look duller and more sad over time. So the easy way to do this, Anna, microfiber cloth with water. If it's a real plant, I support the leaf with one hand and just wipe with the other. If it's an artificial plant, you can use like a little bit of soapy water, like a little bit of dish soap. Again, pinky nail, warm water, microfiber cloth, and give it a wipe. Gull says, hi. How do you clean home air in the cold winter? I'm worried that the windows will be open because my baby is small. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Great question. So if you want fresh air in the winter, the best thing you can do is get an air purifier. Because I agree with you. I live in Canada. I sure don't want to be opening my windows in the middle of the winter because it's cold. But if you want fresh air, an air purifier is the way to go. Another thing to consider is to change your furnace filter and maintain your HVAC system. So those would be the best ways to do that. Alrighty. Joyce, no. Best way to clean a glass stovetop. The hardest thing to get off is when the water boils over. What are the best products to use for this? Right. So I recently switched to an induction cooktop, which is totally different from an electric cooktop, even though they are both glass or ceramic cooktops. Induction is so much easier to clean because it cools quicker and allows for you to clean it faster. So the best thing I can recommend is to clean the surface as soon as it is safe to do so. All right, that is going to prevent buildup. Number 2 is to use a product like Ceramibrite. For a long time, I was not a fan, but I have to tell you, it has a built-in protector, and I appreciate that. So every now and then I actually treat the stovetop with a bit of Ceramibrite, and it helps to protect and add some shine to the surface as well. So I want you to think about doing that. All right. Moving right along. Actually, before we move right along, I'm wondering if we should do a little push for Makers Clean.
Black Friday's coming up.
So Makers Clean, for those of you who don't know, is our sister company. It's a company that we have that sells premium microfiber cleaning tools, premium bath towels and face cloths, hair wraps, bathrobes. Basically, it's a textile company that we've put together to help solve kind of everyday cleaning problems. Microfiber doesn't hold on to odor. It cleans so much more efficiently than cotton cloths, and even like our face cloths. They don't smell, they stay soft. Our bath towels are so absorbent. They're fast drying. They never get odors. They're perfect for swimming, the shower, the beach. We've worked really hard to put this company together. We have fun colors. Chad's going to bring down some colors for you. And then we also have some cleaning tools on there like spray bottles and little scrub brushes and whatnot. We have napkins. Oh my gosh, we have like a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So Makers Clean, we've had it since about 2015. And here's some other products Chad's going to surface for you. And Black Friday is coming up, which I think we all know about. And let's be honest, Cyber Monday too. Like, let's be honest. So one of the things that you can do if you're interested in picking up some product, hey, I mean, you're welcome to go and pick some up now. You can use our promo code. What is it? YouTube 10? Yeah, YouTube 10, which we have running at any point if you want to go pick something up. But more importantly, I would recommend to go and sign up to be on our email list because we always sell out of product on Black Friday. We have like the best sale of the year we wait for Black Friday. And if you want to be first to know when that's going live, if you want to have first access to the products that we will most likely be selling out of, go get on that email list. Chad,
I'm going to drop it in the chat so it's easy for everyone right now. So
okay.
I want to let people know that it's right now.
Thanks, Chad. So Chad put the email subscription link right there in the comments. So you can go check that out. He's pinned it. Strongly recommend doing that. We're very, very proud of what we have. Oh yeah, and the Maker's Mop. Like, what am I even talking about? The Maker's Mop. Oh my God, award-winning Maker's Mop. So go check that out for sure. Get yourself on that email list. Makers customers are like diehards. And like, even my dad was over last night and he's like, hey, can I get more of the blah, 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 the more of the scrub squares? It's like, we've just created a legion of diehard cleaning fans. The products are great. Okay. So Sheila Young says, hey, Melissa, what's the best method for cleaning bath towels to keep them soft? Is it possible to revive towels that have lost their softness? Yeah. So Sheila, this is what we got to think about here. Okay. Towels are really absorbent. They're thick, they're thirsty, and I'm imagining they're cotton towels. When you put them in the washing machine, especially if it is a high efficiency washing machine that doesn't use a lot of water, absorb all the liquid, because that's what you want to do when you're laundering your towels is add an extra rinse cycle and an extra spin cycle. All right. And this is going to help get rid of any of that residue. The next thing you can consider is using Downy Rinse and Refresh. Chad, can you grab a bottle of Downy Rinse and Refresh? Thanks. Which is a product that came out about a year ago, and I've never been a fabric softener fan. This is not a fabric softener. This is a fabric rinse. And I am such a fan of this product. I formally would say put vinegar in to soften your towels. I did some testing with Downy with P&G. There it is, Downy Rinse and Refresh. If you see this in the laundry aisle, like run. Don't walk, run. It's an amazing product, and it just came out in scent free as well, which I'm thrilled about. But it completely neutralizes all of the soap and the odors in the rinse phase of the wash cycle. It's an amazing product. So if you're having issues with towels, use that. And if all else fails, you can always strip them, and that will help kind of rejuvenate them and take them back to step one. But then you have to have a really good regimen. You have to dose your detergent correctly. You're going to add the extra rinse, the extra spin, and I would recommend using Downy Rinse and Refresh. Okay. Sorry, my friends. I'm just trying to keep up with all these comments. Okay, Dia Donaldson. What's your best advice for someone who has massive decluttering to do and doesn't know where to start? Yeah, so you know what, Dia? I have a course that I came up with called the 90 Days of Decluttering. Chad, maybe Chad's going to put that into the chat. And I designed it specifically for this question. All right, because it's something that I struggle with too. I mean, I find decluttering to be daunting and unenjoyable. So if you were to say to me, all right, Melissa, you have to declutter your whole house, I would just go in my room and hide under my blankets. And that overwhelm is specifically what keeps people from, not to sound like Oprah, but living their best lives, right? Because you're just overwhelmed. You don't know where to start. So in the 90 days of decluttering, I put together a course. We break down exactly what decluttering is all about in a way that is so not overwhelming. Because unlike a lot of decluttering experts, I'm not one of these people that's like diehard and obsessed with it. I'm just like, how can I hack decluttering and figure out the easiest, most efficient way to get it done? I break it down into 90 days. And when I say I break it down, it's like one saltine cracker a day. It's like very small. All right. And that's because if it's not manageable, you're not going to do it. So I'm very proud of that course, Dia. And I feel like if it's something that you're genuinely committed to, it's not by any stretch an expensive course. I wanted to make it affordable and easy. I think it's like $28 or something, but it's a good one. Alrighty. Let's see. Yeah, Southern Magnolia has the same question that Sheila had about towels. I don't use fabric softener dryer sheets in my laundry. Why are my towels not soft? That's why your towels aren't soft. Most likely because there's too much detergent that's not rinsing out when you're washing them, and they build up kind of that crusty, thick scratchiness in them over time. So either you're going to strip them to get them kind of back to baseline, or you're going to try cleaning them as you usually do, but you're going to use some Downy Rinse and Refresh. You might want to adjust your dosing so you're using a bit less detergent, and you're going to add an extra rinse and an extra spin cycle. All right. Pooja Mishra says, how do you clean quartz countertops, especially if you get a coffee or turmeric stain sitting for too long? Okay, Pooja, we're going to talk about the stain, but then we're also going to talk about sealing, okay? So a lot of folks don't know this, but you do have to seal your natural stone surfaces 3-4 times a year. Now you can pick up this sealant at a store like Home Depot. You can buy it on Amazon. It's not hard to do. It's just like a thing you need to do. Basically, you clean the surface, apply the product, buff it on, let it dry. That's it. All right. But the sealant kind of like, it's like a top coat of nail polish. All right. That's the best way to describe it. And it's going to prevent any of those stains from seeping in. What you can do to remove this stain that you're dealing with right now is to create what's called a poultice. So you're going to do a thick coating of baking soda over the stain. You're going to then dab on some hydrogen peroxide, and you're going to cover the surface with plastic wrap. You're going to leave it like that for 24 hours. The plastic wrap's important because it's going to keep that area moist. Okay. If it dries out, the poultice isn't going to do anything. It's got to stay like wet. And what it does is it's going to suck up all of that stain into the baking soda. After the 24 hours, you're going to remove the plastic. You're going to use like a flat edge, like maybe a credit card. You're going to scrape it off. It should be a little bit hard by then. And that should remove the stain. We've done this in our bathroom. Works like a charm. All right. Stacy 201133. You donated $20. Thank you. Thanks, Stacy. I have an extremely caked on stainless steel frying pan. Any tips on getting it back to the original condition? All right. Yeah, two words for you. Barkeeper's friend. Barkeeper's friend for the win. Barkeeper's friend is going to turn back the clock on this frying pan for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to sprinkle the product on. You're going to, okay, no. Let me take it back a minute. You're going to wet the pan down. So you're not going to fill it with water. You're just going to like wet the pan with a bit of water. Then you're going to sprinkle in the barkeeper's friend. The water kind of activates the product. Then you're going to take a non-scratch sponge. I feel good about a non-scratch sponge. I think a non-scratch sponge should be okay. I don't want to use anything too abrasive, but if you want to test or level up, you certainly can. And you're just going to start scrubbing. And barkeeper's friend, like 99% of the time, can correct that issue. In fact, I have an old frying pan and I've been meaning to film this for a while, this very demo, because it is like such a satisfying before and after. So Stacy, I hope that works for you. I feel really good about it. All right. Let's get back to some more questions. Wow. So many good ones. Mr. B. Kings, how do you get rid of what I guess is calcium buildup on a faucet? Very easy. Two options. You can use a store-bought product like CLR, stands for calcium lime rust, designed to specifically remove this. You would just follow package instructions. Option 2 is getting some full-strength vinegar, which is anywhere from 6 to 10% acidic acid. You're going to soak it in paper towel. You're going to wrap it around the area that's crusty. You can even cover that in plastic, just like we talked about with Puja for the poultice. You're just going to let it sit wet. By covering it in plastic, you're keeping in that moisture so that the product can do its work. After about an hour or two, you can remove that, and then you can just use like a toothbrush to gently loosen off any of the crusty stuff and give it a little rinse, and then you're done. Okay. Davis Runner has a question. I bought some of your microfiber cloths, but I haven't used them yet because I don't have enough for a washing machine load. How many microfiber cloths should I have to make a washing machine load? Yeah, so this is a good question too. It's funny, we hear this a lot from people, but what I would suggest is, does your machine have the ability to run a quick wash or a smaller load, or does it have the ability to detect your load size? Because if it will, I know it seems like, wow, I'm running a whole load just for these microfiber cloths. But if you can leverage your machine's intelligence, you won't have to run like a full size load through. So I would do that. And honestly, like even if you have 6 that you're running through, you can do like a quick wash or a small load, and it will be a more energy efficient way to get it done. All right. Let's see what else I've got going on here. 1X Sandra, how to clean an unpolished, untreated timber furniture. Yeah. Not much to it. You can't use any product on it and you can't use any liquid on it. So the best thing you can do is dry dust it. And furniture like that kind of ages and gets character. And that's the way it goes. We have a wood table like that in the basement, and it just looks old and kind of beat up. And that is the vibe of the furniture. All right. Nana Louch just tipped us $5. Thank you. How do I get rid of old or tough grease and oil stains on a gas stovetop without scratching the stove? Yeah. Again, I'm going to recommend Barkeeper's Friend here. Barkeeper's Friend is a great choice for this particular issue. and it's not going to scratch. Another product that I think is underrated for cleaning challenges like this is Dawn Power Wash. And I specifically like it because it's a non-scrubbing product and it's a non-abrasive product. So you can spray it on the surface, let it sit for a little bit, and then rub it off with a non-scratching sponge. And I appreciate that that's a challenge for you. Yes, Chad.
I just wanted to point out and have you make mention that every single person who has given us money, this has been their first time ever giving money on stream.
That's so nice.
So like, not only like this isn't people like have done it before, this is like straight up people doing it for the first time.
So I don't know if you all were able to hear that, but the tipping thing, like I said, our YouTube rep always reminds us when we go live. She's like, make sure you tell people about the tip. And it's like so awkward. I don't know. It's like, you know, when you're at the coffee shop and they're like, I'm just going to give you the thing. And then you see that stupid tip thing come up. So it feels really weird for me. But anyway, Chad said that the people who tipped, it was their first time doing it. And it's just really nice. Thank you. It just means a lot. Thanks. It really does. Okay. Lovable Nikki Q says teak dining table has been neglected. It's either got water, spots, grease, or both. Please help. Yeah. All right. So this might need a little bit more TLC that extends beyond the CLEANMYSPACE knowledge base. If it's got water or grease spots, I mean, honestly, you can try. You know what, Nikki? I'm going to recommend that I'm not the right person to help you with that. I don't want to give you the wrong advice. I have ideas, but I'm going to know my limits, and I'm going to tell you I don't want to advise you on that. Thank you for asking your question, and I always try my best to answer, but if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to screw you over. All right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Susie, I've been there. Susie says, how do you get rid of the urine odor out of a secret peeing place that my cats have made? It's on tile, yet I feel it's soaked in somehow. Okay. We had this issue with our former cat, Paisley. Peasley, I think is a better name for her because she used to pee everywhere. Chad just got that now. But there was a corner of tile in our front hallway, and the thing is with cats, once they pee somewhere once, they can smell their scent forever and a day, and most likely so can you, and they're just going to keep going back there. So Susie, it was an ongoing maintenance job. I would either use like a Nature's Miracle type enzyme cleaner, but it's soaked into the grout. So it was kind of like a two-step where I would do the Nature's Miracle, let it sit, scrub it out, and then I would go in with a steam cleaner and I would blast the tile and the grout to blast out the urine. And you wouldn't believe this. It was so gross. Like it looked clean, but then when I used the steam cleaner, I could see like yellow coming out of the grout. It really sinks in there. It's brutal. The other thing you can do, Susie, is you can put like a physical deterrent there. So like tinfoil, and that might help keep the cat away from that area. That's what I can recommend from personal experience. Carmen G says, what's your opinion of using vinegar as a fabric softener? I know you posted something about this on Insta, but I can't find it. Yeah. So for a long time, Carmen, this was the go-to. This is what I would recommend. We all did. We, as in all the cleaning experts, would recommend it. About a year ago, when I went to the P&G Procter & Gamble headquarters and Downy Rinse and Refresh came out, we did tests that compared the efficacy of vinegar, which is acetic acid, to Rinse and Refresh, which is citric acid. And it's citric acid that is dropped into the machine at the exact right time, which is during the rinse phase of the wash cycle, whereas the vinegar gets dropped in at the beginning of the wash phase. So that was issue number one. And then issue number two is that they showed us with vinegar, you need 5 cups of white vinegar during the rinse phase, whereas with Downy Rinse and Refresh, you need about 2 tablespoons. So the product is so amazing, and it just blows vinegar out of the water in terms of performance. So I used to recommend vinegar. I used to use vinegar. Now I exclusively use Rinse and Refresh. Like, there has not been a product that I have been so diehard about in a really long time. But I really stand by this product. All right. Connie, how would you approach cleaning a hoarder house? Easily overwhelmed. Good morning from California. Yeah, Connie, this is a hard one. And I feel for you, because whether it's your house or whether it's a friend or family member's house, it is overwhelming. There's no easy way to do this. Asking for help. So if there's a team of friends, family, or community members who can help you with this, that would be step number 1. Step number 2 would be making a plan of attack. So where are we getting our bins from? Like our dumpster bin from? Knowing that, what are the times that we're going to be going in? Getting all your products and tools ready ahead of time so that you feel good about, going in. Making sure that you have proper PPE. So you might want masks, you might want eye protection, you might want gloves, you might want to wear a hazmat suit, you might want to wear booties. I'm not sure what would make you feel comfortable, but I know for me, when I gear up before going in to do a big cleaning, I always feel more confident in my ability to do that. Treating the space with respect. So, oftentimes when there's a hoarder situation, someone's not doing it intentionally. There's usually something behind it, whether it's you or someone else. So just not shaming yourself if that's where you're at, or if that's where that person's at. This happens, and we can get past it. But asking for help is important, chunking it down. And if you have the budget for it, there are also companies that will come in and help you do that cleaning. And I would honestly say that might be your best bet in terms of getting it done efficiently. Alrighty. Janet Newbills says, I have trouble cleaning my stovetop. What was the name of that cleaner you buy? Ceramibrite, I think, is the best one. For a glass ceramic cooktop. And if you have like a gas cooktop, you would want to look at like a Bon Ami or a Barkeeper's Friend. All right. Puppy Yuki says, how do you deal with plants that keep leaving debris as soon as you touch them while dusting and they can't be moved off the counter? Yeah. So I don't know why your plants can't be moved off the counter. I'm trying to think through this logistically. You know what I would do? I would do the sandwich method. Okay. So I would wipe the area first. Then I would intentionally kind of shake the plant to get any additional debris off. And then I would wipe it again just to clean it up. So I would kind of sandwich the cleaning that way. So sometimes if I know that the cleaning I'm going to do is going to disturb the surface, I'll do that kind of sandwich method. Hopefully that explains. Roseanne Gitani asked, what can you use to take the yellowish grease off white cabinets? From Roseanne. Yeah, you would want to use a degreaser or an enzyme cleaner. So BioClean Backout or Crud Cutter with a K. Kara Kinney, this is an awesome question. If I have a service provider like an electrician in the house, what should be the protocol to deal with their shoe germs in the house? Booties, how do I effectively clean after them? Yeah. So in some cases, they're mandated to wear shoes. Like if they have to wear steel toe shoes in the house, they have to wear them in the house. I find it so gross. It's like very presumptuous when they'll walk into the house. Typically, I'm just like, I don't know, I feel kind of bad. So I just let them do their thing and then I will clean up after them. That being said, there is nothing wrong with saying, I have some booties. Can you put these on? And some service providers, I think, especially after COVID, now provide those regularly. All right. Bees Back 53 says, what's your opinion on the baseboard cleaning tools that are appearing? My opinion is that companies are looking for new ways to make money. How does that sound for an opinion? I think there are a lot of ways you can clean your baseboard. Baseboards, for example, a vacuum with a brush attachment, a maker's mop or a flathead microfiber mop, a cleaning ghost. If you haven't seen those before, I know we just passed Halloween, but it's like a mop pole with a microfiber cloth. You use like an elastic band or a hair elastic to kind of affix it, and then it looks like a little ghost. I call that the cleaning ghost. You can use that, flip it around, and clean your baseboards. Like, you do not need to spend $1, a penny, a micro penny, a fraction of a Bitcoin on a baseboard cleaning tool. Alrighty, Vicky. I see lots of TikToks and IG posts on using razor blades to clean, shaving cream on windows and mirrors, using water and bleach to clean plates and utensils during sick season, using olive oil to shine plants. If you could address recent social media hack, that would be awesome. I know you do some already, but I've seen more and more coming in as sponsored posts with links to buy for the holidays. Yeah, so this goes back to my earlier point that companies are always looking for ways to make money. It's very easy to engage an influencer and say, take my XYZ product and make a TikTok about it, and I'll pay you a few $1,000s. Like, people are going to do that because it's like a fiscally responsible choice for an influencer to take them up on that offer. Because I've been doing this for a long time, I'm very choosy with the brands that I associate with and the products that I will promote. So you don't see me talking about that gimmicky stuff because I want you to keep your money in your pocket as often as possible. And I'm only going to recommend products to you that I know are actually amazing, actually work, and actually save you time. So let's talk through these razor blades to clean. They can be effective to get rid of like schmutz at the bottom of the oven, or if you've got something on glass. The key to using razor blades, and by the way, you don't need to buy a fancy one. You can buy those at Home Depot, okay? The key to using a razor blade is to keep the surface wet so that you're not scratching. And your safety is important because they are obviously very sharp. Shaving cream on windows and mirrors. Just don't use shaving cream for cleaning ever, anything. It's just don't. It is so wasteful and it does not clean. It's a gimmicky hack that people like to talk about. It does absolutely nothing. I've tested it. Please keep your shaving cream for shaving. Using water and bleach to clean plates and utensils during sick season. So bleach is a disinfectant. You can use it. But hot soapy water or putting your stuff in the dishwasher, the temperature is going to get hot enough that it's going to kill any germ that you would have to worry about. And if you want to use really hot water, just glove up when you're hand washing. But dish soap and the physical action of scrubbing, here's my ASMR again, that's going to get rid of germs. Using olive oil to shine plants, you can do that. But I also want you to think about plants. We talked about this earlier. Plants are like skin, right? So if you put olive oil on them, you could potentially clog their ability to photosynthesize. Like in nature, is someone going up to the apple tree and putting olive oil on its leaves to clean it and to shine it? No, they're not. That's a cosmetic thing. So personally, and I have a lot of plants, I will wipe my plants, but I'm not like making them up. They will not be getting the olive oil treatment. So I hope that helps you. That was a lot of really, really good hacks that we needed to get rid of. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy tipped us $1. I appreciate that. That is lovely. Vidi Patel, alternatives to sponges and paper towels. I don't like needing to replace and repurchase cleaning supplies all the time. Great question. Love it. Okay, Vidi. So here's what I wanted to tell you. I don't like disposables either. They're wasteful. I think there's a time and a place for disposables. Case in point, when I'm cleaning a toilet, you're not going to see me using a microfiber cloth. I'm using a paper towel. Please and thanks. But every other time I'm cleaning, almost every other time I'm cleaning, I'm using a microfiber cloth. Now, when it comes, so microfiber cloths, and this is why Makers Clean, I talk about it all the time. Our sister company, makersclean.com, and Chad pinned our website there to the top. You can sign up to our email list because we've got lots coming up for Black Friday, like best sale of the year. Microfiber cloths are perfect alternatives. And we just came out with a cloth called the kitchen cloth, which we designed specifically to replace a paper towel. So it's a large waffle weave. Actually, Chad, it's right there. Yeah, you can hold it up for the camera. Yeah, so this is actually the napkin, but it's a similar weave. So it's a large waffle weave. It doesn't pick up debris and it's absorbent enough. So it's designed to essentially be a reusable paper towel. And then our sponge replacement is called a scrub square. So it's a flexible cleaning pad. I think Chad's going to try to grab one. You can just hold it up, Chad. So on one side, you have this microfiber pad, and on the other side, you've got a gentle, non-scratching scrub. They come in 3 packs. We just crunched some numbers. We've sold over 30,000 of them in a year since they've launched, and that means we've kept over 100,000 sponges out of landfills because they are machine washable and don't smell. People love the scrub squares. So, Vidi, if you're interested in doing that, check out Scrub Squares. Check out the kitchen towel over at Maker's Clean. All right. Valerisha says, as a person who has multiple disabilities and therefore on a very tight budget, if you had to pick one tool that was the most helpful for cleaning, what would it be? So this is a really great question because we have to think about, we always have to think about our limitations, whether it's physical limitations, financial limitations, and then we have to balance that out with our needs. So I can't totally advise you on what the best one is because I'm not sure if you live in a carpeted space, if you live in a large space, in a small space. But I think, so one tool that is very helpful is like a sponge on a stick. If it's the easiest way to describe it, but you can find them on Amazon. I can't remember the brand that makes them, but it's basically, I think even Mr. Clean makes them. It's like an extendable pole that has a sponge on it. I think that would be super helpful for you. The Maker's Mop, again, super helpful because it extends. I want to say it extends to like 8 feet. Does that sound right, Chad?
It's 8 feet, yes.
Okay, so I think it extends up to 8 feet. So you're able to hold it if you're in a sitting position, up, down. You can do the floor, you can do the wall. There's a lot you can do with the Maker's Mop. I think a vacuum is really important. So many different things. I think it just depends on needs and budget, but I would look for something that suits your abilities and your space. All right. Miss Happy Feet 2009, what's your take on using a silicone brush for toilet bowl cleaning? Yeah, so we've seen a couple of these, most notably the Luigi and the Louise, which are kind of fun names because, Lou, toilet in England, kind of cute. So they're nice because they're hygienic, because silicone doesn't hold on to bacteria, ergo you're not going to get the odors and the stinkiness. But at the same time, do they have the scrub power of a nylon bristle? No, they don't. So it is really up to you. It's a give or take. I've used those nylon brushes and the silicone brushes, and I just go back to the nylon bristles. Because at the end of the day, I like me a clean toilet. That's the best way I can put it. M6, how do you keep the house clean once it's clean? Yeah. Best thing I can recommend is clean as you go. So once the house is clean, kind of knowing the pain points, like for us, clutter builds up. So that's number one. So every day, not letting things land where they're not supposed to, putting things away back in their home after we've used them. And then the bottleneck happens in the kitchen. So the minute that dishwasher isn't unloaded, plates start to pile up on the counter, the sink gets dirty, more work comes later. God forbid you cook a meal and you create even more of a mess. The bottleneck is the dishwasher and the dishes in our house. So you have to know your bottlenecks and you have to stay on top of them. Clutter, dishwasher, that's what it is for us. And in the bathroom, kind of keeping that countertop surface and the sink surface clean. And if we can keep up with that, we can maintain the house pretty well between cleans. I've got just a couple more minutes before we're going to be wrapping it up. There are 330 people in the room. My God, don't I feel like a special lady right now? Let's see. Donna Aspinwall says, how do you clean hairspray mixed with dust from a laminate floor? So, Donna, this is what I want you to try. I want you to put a bit of rubbing alcohol on a pad, like a cotton pad or a paper towel, and I want you to just test it in a hidden area first on your laminate. And I want you to see if it is safe to use, as in it's not removing any of the finish. If that's the case, proceed and use that rubbing alcohol to remove the buildup. Going forward, if you're going to be spraying your hair, take it to an area. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, when I do hairspray, we have like an unfinished room beside my office where I do my hair, and I do it in there because I don't want it getting on my mirror or on my floor. Hairspray is really crusty and it builds up and it's gross. So keep that in mind. Tufu 2006. This is like a really good and very honest question. So I like it. Best way to clean with little kids. There's clutter and there's no time. What's the most effective strategy to make an impact if I can't get it perfect? And I think your last line says it all. There is a time and a place for perfection. And when you have little kids, that is not the time and that is not the place. We have come to a point where I know what I want my house to look like. And my house doesn't look like that because I have a 5-year-old and Chad and I are busy people. And when 5 o'clock rolls around and it's dinner, I make dinner and then I'm tired and then I don't really want to clean. So you know what? Sometimes my house and sometimes my daughter Riley leaves stuff out. And sometimes I'm too tired to deal with it. So you know what? We have temporarily lowered our expectations, and that is fine because it's not always going to be like this, but sometimes it's like this. And rather than beating myself up and making myself feel bad about it, I am not going to do that. So I hope that that helps. And then just do your best. That's all you can do. 350 people. Thank you. By the way, if you're enjoying this, just give a thumbs up and like the video. You can leave any other questions that you're having in the comments because I'm going to be wrapping this up in a couple minutes. But I did want to remind you, if you haven't had a chance to, subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. You can find us on social media because we're always posting different stuff there. So on Instagram and TikTok, we're at Clean My Space. And I'm trying really hard to build up TikTok. So honestly, if you're on there and you're not following Clean My Space, this sounds kind of desperate, but like, please follow us there, please. That is me being really desperate. Please. The other thing is don't forget to sign up for the Dirty Dish, which is the Clean My Space email. We're not annoying. We're not spammy, but we do send out emails every now and then with like interesting cleaning stuff that we come across and special stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else. So you can find that. Chad, are you putting a link up? Okay. So you can sign up for the Dirty Dish, and then you can also sign up for the Maker's Clean Insider. And I cannot stress the importance of signing up for that email enough with Black Friday around the corner. It is the time of year where we do our best sale of the year. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, like it was not even a thing in Canada a few years ago. And now it is like our biggest sale of the year. All right. Also, like on a personal note, I have a Black Friday, Cyber Monday list of like shoes. I want a new microphone for my cell phone when I'm shooting my little reels and TikTok videos. Like I got my own list going. All right. And if Maker's Clean or cleaning tools is on your list, oh, by the way, I know Dyson's going to have some Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales too. So I'll be posting that on Instagram when I find out about it because I think, I work with Dyson. Yeah. So anyway, back to the Maker's Clean email. Sign up for it because it's going to you're going to get first access to those sales, and we sell out of product very quickly. So you'll get the best price and you will get first access. With that being said, I'm going to wrap things up now. And it was an absolute pleasure spending 90 minutes with you on a lovely turned into a sunny Friday afternoon. It was certainly not this sunny before. So thanks for being here with me and for all of your enthusiasm and your great questions. Wow, I just looked at myself on camera and I noticed the microphone looks like an elephant trunk. So that's cool. And for all of you who tipped, like left us a tip, thanks. That's really nice of you. Again, I feel so awkward, like those, people at like fast food restaurants where you're like, I needn't tip you. You guys needn't tip me, but that really meant a lot. So thanks very much. And I'm going to sign off and I'll see you at our next live. Again, such a pleasure to be here. And thank you so much for all of your support. Have a great weekend.
Missed someone's